This is an interesting place to be in. A precarious position for the protagonist. The rumors I'd heard had said that the Shinsengumi were cruel, vicious men, but they seemed much more human after that. Or human than that. Then again, even as I sat there, they were deciding whether or not to kill me. I don't think they want to kill me, but it seems like they think they might not have a choice. If I didn't defend myself somehow, I'd most likely be killed. I don't know how I'm supposed to convince them, though. However they might have felt about me, it was clear that their priority was the welfare of the Shinsengumi. Oh, right. Why don't you play it off against them? They all still thought I was a boy. Bingo. Perhaps if I told them I was a girl, they might reconsider. Or perhaps they wouldn't. Or perhaps they wouldn't make my predicament... Or perhaps that would make my predicament worse in some unknowable way. Find a way to escape. We're gonna talk our way out of it. Just gonna tell them the truth, do the scary thing. Perhaps if I did, they'd understand my predicament. Perhaps they think I'm from Kyoto as well. If I told them I'd only just arrived in Kyoto, they might lower their guard, or so I'd hoped. Oh, that's actually a terrible idea. Yeah, let's just tell them that we have no connections in this town and that nobody would be missing us. I don't know anyone in Kyoto, and I'd only come to look for my father. Ooh, this is a terrible idea. I haven't even told them I'm a girl. The rest perhaps could wait. I feel like that might be wise to tell them I was a girl. Took a deep breath and then shouted as loud as I could. Hello! Anyone there? Hello! After a few moments, the door slid open. Several faces appeared around the edges. Sup? Ah, great. I need these chuckle buckets. That's not what I need. Well, you've got some balls. Give you that. We got you locked up. That doesn't stop you yelling for us? Looked a little impressed. Alright, you called us. Here we are. Made you mind about dying? He was right. I had called him over. Took a deep breath and spoke. Want you to hear me out. It is unlikely that we can sympathize with your situation. So long as you understand that, say what you wish. Not looking for sympathy. Looking for some empathy. You're not going to be able to relate to me. I promise you. Saito's cold words were like a blow to my chest. The courage I'd built up rapidly began to ebb. It was only not Saito. Anyone else. There we go. Harada, what up? I sympathize with your awful luck. May you rest in peace. It's the guy that, was unsuccessful with his ritual seppuku. Wonder what brought him to that place. And I'm surprised, yeah, Harada. I'm surprised Harada's not on my list of boys to make kissy faces with. A man should know when to accept his fate. They all spoke as if they'd already consigned me to death. Time to make my choice. Give up! Just screw it! Accept my fate. I'm more excited about this whole boy-girl thing. As Saito turned to go, I rounded to Toto and to glare at him furiously. Hey, what's up with you? Earlier you said a man should know when to accept his fate. You don't think there's anything wrong with killing a man before hearing him out? His eyes narrowed as he stared at me. Hey! Heart bomb, but it's actually cherry blossoms, and it goes, yay! His eyes narrowed as he stared at me as though I'd suddenly become more interesting. You ought to watch your mouth. Don't you get what's going on here? Maybe you should start acting like a man, alright? Just accept your fate. We've got to do what we've got to do. But I'm not a man. Surprise! Ellipses face, ellipses face. Yeah, right. What, you gonna try and tell me you're a girl? Yes. Toto and Nagakura's eyes went so wide I was almost worried they might fall out of their sockets. Their mouths worked wordlessly, like a pair of fish desperately trying to breathe air. I'm just gonna soak it all in. This is lovely. Excellent. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Something a bit ladylike about your profile. Hater. How the hell were we supposed to know that? Girls are supposed to wear pants. Nakura's distress didn't seem to be having much effect on Saito, who regarded him with cool amusement. Perhaps he'd known the truth all along. Perhaps you have a point. I ought to at least hear you out. That was fun. There I was, surrounded once again by the leaders of the Shinsengumi. I did think you were rather pretty, but to think you were in fact a lady all this time. Sorry to disappoint you, Kondo. Kondo was nodding his head solemnly over and over as if he were agreeing with a very intelligent suggestion. What's you know she's a girl, she really doesn't look like a boy at all, does she? Something about that seemed to impress Todo. Alright. Weird stuff. Ugh. Then we bound a girl, left her for an entire night. Oh dear. Oh, GB me. Looked at me, eyes concerned. Each of them took the news differently. Well, she claims to be a girl, but it's not like we have any actual proof, right? That's how I feel about that statement. Proof? Go fuck yourself. It's proof you need. Haruda laughed. Nagakura grumbled to himself under his breath. I do not need to prove my goddamn gender. Proof? Really? Not obvious enough for you, huh? Alright, well if you feel better if I strip her down, go fuck yourself. Please don't. No, you will absolutely will not. Even suggesting such a thing is preposterous. Kondo shot up before I had even finished, his face bright red, but Haruda's words hadn't had any malice behind them. I just figured it was the quickest way to settle a question. Shrugged, settled back into his seat. Nagakura had crossed his arms and his brows were knit. I'm in a tough position here, being in the boys' club. Basically being in the boys' locker room. It's not necessarily the safest place for a woman. Oh dear. Well, if you really are a girl, then killing just feels kind of wrong. Right on the nose. It doesn't matter. If we have to kill her, she dies. Hijikata's words left no room for argument. But hey, at least they'll feel bad about it. Gender is irrelevant. Killing in general is wrong. Oh, Sanon's finally got our back on this. We were organized to protect the public's good in the city of Kyoto. We would ill-serve the public good by murdering civilians in cold blood. Yeah, but if this girl or boy is a threat to the peace, whether the girl or a boy is a threat to the peace, that's a horse of a different color. And that grin again. Shinsengumi didn't enjoy a shining reputation already. If rumors began to spread that their men were thirsty for blood, things weren't really likely to go well for them. They wouldn't be able to operate in Kyoto, and with no one to protect the people, the city would eventually fall into chaos. I could see in their eyes that each one of them knew full well the consequences rash actions could have. Well then, we need only determine if you are a threat. Will you tell us your side of the story? I could feel all their eyes upon me. The room was quiet. My name's Chizuru Yukimura. I told them everything. How I lived in Edo, how I'd come to Kyoto to find my father. Oh, then you're from Edo as well. Came all the way to Kyoto to find your father? I see emotion welling up in his eyes. What business did your father have in Kyoto? Father's a doctor. His name is Kodo Yukimura. He specializes in Western medicine. What? Huh? The moment my father's name crossed my lips, the atmosphere in the room changed. Oh my. So the good Dr. Kodo has a daughter. You know my father? Interesting, excellent. I wasn't sure what the sudden silence meant, only that the revelation of my parentage had caused a pronounced change in their behavior. Oh my god, we get it. Like, she is so wordy. Or the narrator at least is. Like, come on, I get it, there's context. I don't need to be explained the context, exactly. It was Saito who had finally broken the silence. It's like she's like got this joke, but then she also has to explain the joke after. It's like, I get it, okay? Just let it go. Have a little confidence in your narrative. The Shinsengumi is currently attempting to determine the whereabouts of Dr. Kodo Yukimura. Oh, you're after my father? Why? Why? Oh no, you've got us all wrong. We're not after him. Oh, I see. Tension that I hadn't noticed began to dissipate. He's a fellow supporter of the Shogun, but, well, he kinda disappeared a little while ago. There's a reasonable chance that the enemies of the Shogun have identified him as a threat. My eyes went wide, but Saito kept talking as if I'd done nothing. There is also a chance, of course, that he's still alive. Doctors trained in Western medicine are valuable and rare. I wasn't sure what else to do, so I nodded. My heart pounded in my chest, threatening to burst out onto the floor. Father! Was he safe? But with you, we have much better chance of finding the good doctor. Sinan continued. Apparently, my father had only visited a small number of times. I understood what he meant. It would be difficult for them to track down someone they barely knew. You are his daughter, however. You ought to be able to recognize him no matter how he may have disguised himself, yes? Yeah, I could. I'm useful! I'm useful! Ah, you have to keep me around. I got you. I've got you now. I nodded as I spoke and gave him what I hoped was a steady, reassuring smile. Can't brush me off now, or kill me. Haha. Well, if she was his daughter, we can't really kill her, can we? Bingo! Doing the not killing dance. Not gonna get killed today. Aw, yeah. Which means more work for me, his eyes added. They narrowed as he looked down at me. If you swear you'll forget about what you saw last night, then we'll look after you until you can find your father. Fair? I promise that the Shinsengumi will do whatever you can to help you find Dr. Kodo. Oh! Everything turned out for the better. Everything's pretty fantastic. Even the music's all excited now. I'd never imagined something like this. Not only had I survived, I'd found my first decent lead. You must be pretty glad we won't be killing you, huh? Well, won't be killing you just now at any rate. Give me that same wolfish grin. There's no denying that my situation was still less than desirable, but at that moment I didn't care. Yeah, I'm very much glad. Been through a lot, but at last I'd found help. And where I'd never have expected it. The Shinsengumi. Kyoto hadn't been kind to me, even though I'd been there less than a day, but it looked as though my fortunes were taking a turn for the better. I still had a long way to go, and I had worries aplenty, but it was important to stay optimistic. I'd prefer to place you in the custody of the Judiciary Commissioner, or the Aitsu, rather than keep you in a house full of men, but... Alright, so, my first time playing through this, I had a lot of red letters. They haven't been showing up because they'd already been added to my encyclopedia, but now we can update our encyclopedia with strange words like Aizu that we may not necessarily understand off first reading. So I can go to my encyclopedia and go to the main part and go to Aizu, one of Japan's more influential clans. They were related by blood to the Tokugawa clan and were put in charge of the office of the Kyoto Military Commissioner. Not that these are necessarily important details. And I'm still like 40% sure I'm missing something. Trying to see if L or R buttons, those just go up and down. Alright. Let's return. Kondo let the sentence hang in the air and looked at me, his arms folded. It was clear I had no choice but to stay with the Shinsengumi. Should you require anything, you need only ask. We will do what we can to accommodate you. Oh. Expression didn't change, but his words were unexpectedly warm. Looked away from him awkwardly, but I still felt the heat rise in my cheeks. Thank you. Well, guess we'll have to be nice with you now that we know you're a girl. You're always nice to the ladies, Shin. Sure, it didn't take you long for you to change your tune once you figured out she was a girl, though, huh? Ah, whatever. Having a lady here at headquarters is sure gonna brighten things up, huh? I wasn't entirely sure what would be the outcome. Still, we can hardly treat her as one of our soldiers. Something else must be done with her. Then make her a page or something. You want an assistant, Kondo? How about you, Sanan? Gave a small shrug. Whatever was done with me, it seemed he no longer cared. Oh, come on now, Hichikata, it's your idea. You can't just pawn her off on someone else. Ah, excellent. I believe we can trust Toshi with her. Kondo's face split into a wide smile and he slapped his leg in agreement. Well, there you have it, Hichikata. I hope you'll take good care of her. Snan's smile had more than a little bit of a mocking twist to it. Hichikata, excellent. You sons of bitches. Man, yeah, you there? Gonna just be hanging out a little bit around here for a little while. That's okay, thank you. As I watched their back and forth, some of my early relief began to ebb away. What was going to happen to me? I don't know. But February has begun, and we will find out in what has been a lovely beginning to a wonderful, wonderful story. I'm excited to see what the future has before us. Once again, just before I close, I want to thank SprawlRat for amazing choice. I'm currently just having a great time playing through this game, and I can't wait to see what more it has to offer. So yeah, we'll just end it right here. This is a nice little stopping point to end our very first recording of this game, and we will see you next time for more. What is this? I need to remember my name. Shinsen. Nope, that's not right. Hakuoki. That's right. I think that's the name. Hitting all the buttons again, like I do when I panic. No, not auto. All right. So, for more Demon Blade, Hakuoki, Demon of the Fleeting Blade. I feel like that's right. Yes. For more Hakuoki. We will see you next time on RDLP. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.